Monster Tech is doing a giveaway on my channel. Stay tuned for details on how you could win. Hello everybody, this is Odd Job Entertainment bringing you another video. And I'm at an interesting checkpoint right now. I could be ripe for a sudden blow up in popularity, or I continue to trickle upwards and make a meager but helpful side income courtesy of my content on YouTube. But I'm still by every definition a small YouTuber, perhaps just big enough to offer some insights on the journey to those just starting out. So sit back and relax as we look at what it takes to get to where I am now and the lessons I've learned to keep growing. First off, if you want to make it on YouTube, you need to have a clear goal in mind. If you take a look at my very early content, which I almost don't want to bring up because it is pretty bad, but scroll past all the nice thumbnails and keep scrolling to the point where I didn't even make thumbnails, you'll see that my content was all over the place. I really had no solid vision for my content, and I was trying a lot of things to see if I could get anything to stick. It wasn't until I had some respectable success with Star Citizen videos that things started to fall into place for me. But once I got the ball rolling in at least a direction, it allowed me to start to improve my content across the board. If we scroll back up, we see that I started making thumbnails, and I got better at making them. Then I created a kind of brand with those thumbnails that lets you know that you found one of my videos. What I'd suggest to the YouTuber starting out is find something you're passionate about and hone in on that. I tried a lot of stuff before I had any success, but I think I would have grown faster if I had done what I am suggesting instead. You see, I've played Star Citizen for a really long time, during my whole YouTube career almost. If I had just made videos on this game I cared about from the get-go, the quality improvements would have come faster, and I think I would have advanced sooner. But herein lies a problem. A lot of YouTubers get pigeonholed into one brand of content. That can lead to burnout and a feeling of being trapped. Believe it or not, I've already felt this. I've tried to make videos to push out my fences a little more, and those videos don't do as well. But I still have a growth plan in mind. My content for the time being will still focus primarily on Star Citizen, and Star Citizen will always play a major role in my content. But you may have noticed that I integrate B-roll from other games a lot. My plan is to move this way into variety content where hopefully my charming personality and topic points keep you coming in instead of just one particular game. And having a vision is only part of the battle. You must also work on quality. And this takes a variety of forms. Thumbnails are a very easy and obvious one that plays a huge role in getting someone to click. At the same time, I've invested a lot of effort refining my editing process and my delivery. I still have a ways to go, but it's a marked improvement from where I started. The more value you can add into a viewer's time, the more likely they are going to return. For my part, I try to make my videos both informative and entertaining. My goal is that you learn something and have at least a chuckle with me. Or at me, I'd settle for either. I've also started to hone in on the unique perspective that I can offer. My more popular videos have been those that break down complex ideas like science in gaming scenarios and distill them into something more digestible. Some of my major inspirations are people like Ray's Guide, Morphologist, and Linus Tech Tips. Morph uses his background in architecture to critique artwork in games. Maybe I could do something similar with my engineering background. That's what I've tried to do. In this video, for instance, I talk about how the differing energy levels of individual protons could be a game mechanic to broadcast information to players about damage values. And in a more recent video, I break down some of the physics that need to be considered for different gravitational environments and wheeled vehicles. By doing this, I hope that we all learn together and gain a wider perspective, but I also share something that is uniquely me. There are other gamers, and there are other engineers, but there's no one that's quite like me. As a creator, you need to lean into what makes you unique. Gaming content in general is very saturated. If all you've got is gaming, it's going to be hard to stand out. Second thing I've learned as a creator is that it's hard to make tools for the little guy. YouTube is a massive company. As a creator, I have access to all kinds of analytics with the intention of helping me grow my community. But it becomes quickly evident that the tools aren't tailored to my needs or a creator my size. For example, YouTube says that upload time does not have a major influence on video success and view rates. And I'm sorry, but my experience very much says otherwise. By pure luck, I happened to be up late one night uploading a video and published it close to midnight on a Saturday. That was my first video ever to break 100 views in less than a week. That was the video titled "Thank You So Much." And as I look back on it now, there's still a lot of emotion tied up in that video. But that was the first video of mine to make it big in any kind of way. Ever since then, I have been religiously uploading only at midnight on Saturday night, except for specific cases when I'm trying to test a new variable. And without fail, if I break my midnight ritual, the video does not take off. I have a theory for this. With my community being as small as it is, my demographic tends to be pretty specific. It's looking for Star Citizen players like me. Compared to gaming in general, Star Citizen players tend to be a bit on the older side, so they have jobs, and my channel is English speaking. Not as big a limit as other languages might be, but still, not everybody speaks English. If we look at my demographics, that seems to line up pretty well. My viewers tend to be American or European and not much else. So the times that my viewers are going to be on YouTube is probably on the weekend when they're less likely to be working, or late Saturday when they finally get to play their games. That makes a pretty narrow window for people to find my videos. Let's compare myself to someone like Logan Paul. Obviously, everyone knows who he is, more for negative stuff now it seems, but Logan has a massive fan base, several millions of people. Odds are, regardless of when he uploads, with such a large community, he's going to have enough people scattered across the globe tuning in regardless of time zone to watch his content. So where a small potato like me depends on my American viewers to kickstart my views, he doesn't have the same restriction. So I'm sure, just as YouTube reports, that on average, with all the major content creators considered, there is no appreciable effect on views if you break your upload timing. But for small creators, I think it's actually really important. My hypothesis is if I were able to branch out and get more European and Asian viewers, then I would be less subject to this kind of limitation. And I predict that in the future, that will happen naturally. As our community grows, we'll start to push into those other time zones, and as more people start watching, they act as anchors for me to expand my reach. It's kind of like uncovering sections of a game map. When you only have a small circle, you really are strapped for resources. But as you slowly push out, you discover more ways to advance and progress gets faster. In this case, the resources that help me are viewers in different regions. There's a related effect here as well. As I am a small creator, YouTube doesn't yet really know how to handle my content. Who should it push it to? When your community is small, YouTube has less data overall on what kind of viewer likes the content I produce. Right now, I think YouTube thinks of me strictly as a Star Citizen YouTuber. As our community grows, however, YouTube will start to recognize the engineering projects I do, the science breakdowns I discuss, and could potentially start pushing it out into more people's feed based on those details, because people that tune in for those aspects of my videos will have a slightly different demographic to YouTube compared to strictly Star Citizen viewers. But in my little corner right now, YouTube doesn't know enough about me or my content to be able to accurately push it out to the swaths of people that may actually enjoy it. And that is another kind of double-edged sword. As my channel grows, my ability to interact with people is going to shrink. Right now, I really enjoy going through each and every comment and contributing in some way. Sometimes it's just a heart, but most of the time I try to respond in a way that allows viewers to continue a conversation with me. But at the very least, I always let you know that I have read your comment. I learn a lot from you guys, and I get some great ideas this way. But there is a potential tipping point in the future where comments come in so quickly that I am no longer able to respond to them all the same way. I've seen some YouTubers handle this by only responding to comments within a certain period of time after the upload. I don't know yet how I'll handle it, but I want to do it in such a way that maintains some of the intimacy I have with my viewers. And another tool of YouTube that doesn't really work is the copyright system. I'm sure you guys have seen many videos by this point breaking down how easy it is to abuse and how little YouTube seems to care. The reality is, I'm still in a very precarious point, and I'm scared. If I made a video that made the wrong person mad, it would be very easy for them to remove me entirely. I don't even like mentioning this idea because of how fragile my existence is here right now. But if someone wanted to nuke my channel, all it would take is a few copyright claims, true or not. I try my best to ensure that I give credit to the creators of any borrowed content. This is usually in the form of an attribution baked into the video I upload, but YouTube has no clear guidelines on how you should do these attributions to begin with. In my most recent video, for instance, I referenced the theme song by Remy Zero used for the TV show Smallville. From my end as a creator, it's up to me to figure out some way to give credit to the song owners. And this ambiguity means that it's never clear what the best practice is or what is required to avoid any ramifications. And Remy Zero, if you happen to be watching, I love the song, I'm not making any money off of it, but if you have any issues, please respond to my email so we can work it out. But there are a lot of ways the copyright system could be improved. I'll go through a few of them here. To start, when I upload a video, I'd love the ability to copy and paste any link or links containing the original content I borrow. YouTube could then automatically create a little button in the description that users can click to backtrace any of that content. This would make it so that I can self-report any time I borrow clips and videos, so regardless of my attributions, users have an easy way of finding the original again. This would fix a lot of the ambiguity I mentioned and eliminate consequences for creators that are simply ignorant of the best way to handle this. It creates an easy standard that YouTube can then point to and say, go fix your attributions with the tool, or then face potential strikes. Now, YouTube is in a bit of a tricky spot. If they do nothing in regards to actual copyright violations, they could find themselves involved in legal battles. Hence why up to now they've opted to side entirely on the side of the accuser to escape any ramification. But what if instead of immediately taking action, they simply facilitate the conversation between the claimant and the alleged copyright violator? You get an email through your YouTube Studio page from the person claiming your video where they can outline how it is a violation. Then you can either refuse or accept the copyright notice and adjust your content if it is in violation. If you reject the claim, the claimant can then issue an appeal to YouTube. YouTube then does a review and makes a determination. Either party can appeal this decision one more time, and YouTube would conduct a personal review. I think YouTube could even send videos out to willing participants and outsource a lot of the content reviewing. You might receive an automatic ad skip, for instance, if you review 2 videos for a copyright violation. The scores individuals assign gets weighted according to how accurate their reviews tend to be in the determination process, but I think that this would be a pretty easy way to take a lot of the workload off of potential YouTube employees and use the huge communities that YouTube has to help with this process. And I'm sure that there's plenty of viewers out there who would love to support their favorite creators. Having a way to contribute in this manner to videos that you don't select and don't necessarily come from your subscriptions would provide a way to indirectly help your creators by making a system better for them to create in. And I'm obviously not a legal expert, but I think that this would be enough to absolve YouTube of any responsibility to then say, hey, we did our part. If you don't like it, you need to talk to the creator. All the while, the funds accrued by either content is held by YouTube until that final determination is made. This would prevent false claims from being an easy payday. This gives a much more structured framework wherein small creators can handle a lot of the determination themselves via email to each other. It also means that creators at least have a way to push back on these claims that so often are flagrantly false. In contrast, if I were claimed today, my best strategy would be to try to get Charlie White's attention to the issue so that he could then make a stink about it on X. Stupid name, by the way. As it stands, I wouldn't even have enough traction on social media for YouTube to help me without a bigger creator like Penguin Zero or Moist Critical or Charlie White, depending on what name you use for him. Without a bigger creator like him amplifying my voice for me. In the current state, I have better odds of being raptured today than getting a human at YouTube to help me. But hey, I'm still optimistic for the future and looking forward to having you all join me for the ride. I'd love to revisit this in the future and see if my perspective has changed or see if I've gained any additional wisdom to share with you. But let's talk below. Are you trying to get into YouTube? Are you struggling? And what has your experience been? Oh, and before I forget, just like any other cliche YouTuber mentions, according to those broken tools, 82% of you are not subscribed. So if you stuck around to this point, you may as well come back, right? In fact, we're doing a giveaway courtesy of Monster Tech, and you could win. All you have to do is like and subscribe to my content and comment on any of my videos during the giveaway period with that video's corresponding secret word. Today's secret word is any of the YouTubers that I mentioned by name in my video. Let's see if we can get any of them to respond to this and share maybe some of their insights. But let me tell you about Monster Tech. Monster Tech is an amazing company that focuses primarily on making sim gear. So they make chairs, desktop mounts, chair mounts, whatever it is that you need for a sim pit, you name it, they probably make it. And if they don't have it as a current listing, they also have a custom order process that I actually went through to get the chair that I use in my videos and all my streams. And it's really cool to have a company like that be so quick to deliver a product to you that, comes from your brain. It's oftentimes very difficult to get manufacturing companies to talk to individuals, but Monster Tech was very easy to work with, and I'm really stoked to have them as a partner for this channel. They are giving away a set of chair or desk mounts to one lucky viewer, and I am so happy that I get to share back with you guys. Your support has really meant a lot to me, and like I said at the beginning, that video, thank you so much, that was back, I gotta think, I probably had no more than 100 subscribers at that point. Now we're over 700. It is crazy to look back on how much growth this channel has had, and all of that is thanks to you. So I know that I've worked a lot to improve my content, but I'm really glad that you guys are supporting me in the ways that you are and helping me grow. This has been a huge adventure for me. That's really one of the best words for it. So, like I said, I'm happy to be able to give back to you and to be partnered with such a great company. I really love Monster Tech. I love the chair I've been sitting in and the mounts that they made for me. And I can't wait to see what viewer gets these mounts. And I hope that you share it on our community too. I'd love to see pictures of where these end up. But until next time, this is the end of the video. So this is Odd Job Entertainment, signing off.